Hello, everyone, and welcome to Bigfoot Odyssey, and it's drawing Bigfoot tonight. Hope everyone is doing okay. We have got a great show tonight. Of course, with me, as always, for drawing Bigfoot, our amazing artist, lbattson. How are you doing, Larry?
I'm better than a ferret in the middle of a prairie dog town.
That's got to be pretty good. That's got to be pretty good.
Yeah,
Um, and our guest tonight, who has been on Drawing Bigfoot before, but it was over on Hidden Existence. I'm going to upload that to Bigfoot Odyssey at some point, maybe this week or next week. But he's here with another encounter, and of course, it's Crypto Realities, Mark Zaskey. Welcome, Mark. How are you doing?
Great, Daniela. How are you tonight?
I'm doing all right.
What's going on there? Everything good?
yeah, I'm good.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
We're all good. So you did a great encounter last time. I'll actually stick it up. The image.
The juvenile.
This, yeah, dude looks scary.
Yeah, he wasn't that tall. I don't think. Maybe 5, 6 feet tall at the most. 5.5 feet, maybe. But yeah, it was startling the way he was staring at me.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to upload that video, guys. Anyway, if you want to watch it, I will be putting it up, like I say, on Bigfoot Odyssey, maybe this Friday. But obviously, I'll let you all know. So I know, Mark, you've seen quite a few in your time of research, and you've got another one for us tonight that you've seen that was eating nectarines. I've actually seen the little video of it. It does look
chomping
pretty.
away, isn't he?
He's chomping away. I call him the chomper.
He's chomping away.
So let's get into it then with the description and talk about it as we're going through it. And
Okay.
Larry can crack on if you want, Larry.
I believe the subject to be no more than 5 feet tall.
Okay.
Again, a younger one. He's a part of the research area that I've been cultivating interactions with these guys for about 3 years now. And basically, we just use fruit, man. They love fruit. And so over time, the gap between us over the last 3 years has gotten, the distance is closing. And I'm getting closer and closer because I refuse to throw them farther. I throw them shorter every time.
Okay. Yeah.
And I wait and I spend time there, And so in the end, it's the same thing that Melanie and I have been doing for 7 years in other areas to get a look at what's in those bushes that we keep hearing and that, we've been seeing. So, and to get it on camera. And this time it paid off, right? I saw him by the tree. I threw the nectarine away from where he was to try to see if I could trigger him to leave the cover. But he didn't appear to leave the cover until there was a rustling next to me. And then I looked back at the tree. When I looked over at the rustling, I looked back at the tree and he was gone. So it was almost like right then I was like, okay, he was waiting for me to look away. And you could see a little bit of movement in the bush where the nectarine was. And then he appeared back over at the tree within 30 seconds. And I was looking at the iPad when I shot the footage. And so you've seen the footage and he's chewing, right? So I think he got it. I mean, based on what was going on, it's highly probable he got the nectarine, right? So this is the individual. He appeared from where I was standing to have very dark skin. But upon review of the footage, this individual has cold, light gray skin. And the shade from the bush shawl, I'll call it, like he was literally in the bush to where it looked like a ghillie suit all over him, like on the top of his head and everything. I think you've seen the footage. It just looks like he's got a ghillie suit on almost, or like he's inside these vines, staring out. And in the footage, when the sun and the clouds broke, light hit his face finally, and I got a few really good frames of some very light gray skin. So that's the individual we're going to be working on tonight. He's got light gray skin. He had a very pronounced brow, and his face and his eyes, I think you can see it in this. The bone structure is out and very solid around this creature's eyes. It almost looked mantis-like, Larry. The bone structure is very relatominoid, and you can see these very bony oculus, you know, the bone structure around the eyes is incredibly, I would say, rectangular and even angled slightly. And it comes down like this, and then there appears to be a very thin muzzle down here with the exaggerated, very wide cheekbones, and then the head goes to a point. So we're looking at a shape like this.
Okay. All right. Well, let's start with the head, obviously. And also maybe at the end, we can play that video if you're
sure, if you'd like to. Well, you can see it on Patreon too.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah, the cell video I showed you, Danielle, isn't all that good because I'm filming the computer. I just wanted something to show you, you know.
Yeah.
But, the breakdown of the video is absolutely incredible, and all of the stills and the still frames from the video, the best still frames, are all on Patreon. What I'll do is, while we're doing this, I'll actually share a couple of the images.
Okay.
The still frames of the thing. Is that cool?
Yeah, well, let's leave it till later because I know Larry doesn't want to see anything. He wants no clues. He literally wants to go off your description. Maybe towards later we'll do that.
Okay, decrease the angle. Decrease the angle on the head by 5 degrees on each side. Like bring it out wider, the top of the head. Way wider. Like 45-degree angle.
Head counter, Carter, thank you so much for that. Appreciate that.
And then bring it in sharp, real sharp, right around the cheekbone side, right around where the cheekbone's on. Bring it in real sharp, like I would say halfway down.
I want to try and get Larry on the main.
There you go, Lair. That's the area where you want to cut in with the cheekbone, right there.
That's better.
No, Lair.
Straight down?
3 inches horizontal. We're talking about an exaggerated square-looking oculus. Let me try to find one of these images for you.
If you show him on your face, if you show him what you mean.
Okay. So the bone structure right here.
Yeah.
Right here.
Let's get this part right here. Then I can, because this is not right, correct?
Yeah, well, the left side is close. The left side's close, but yeah, it's basically what it is the way it looked in the footage is the top of the head, because it's got those muscles coming off the back of the skull.
Yeah,
it's going down to the shoulders, and this thing's face is down on its chest.
Okay.
Yeah, man. It's one of those, like, squatter ones with the.
Well, let's get this other side here, right?
Okay. And then now right there, Lair.
Yeah.
Cut to the left horizontally and square it off. Nope, Lair, horizontally. Ridiculously straight horizontal line. Straight horizontal.
Wow.
Right there. Yep. Now go to the other side and do the same exact thing. Yep. Now make a square up where you just pulled your pencil off all the way up at the top there.
Yeah.
Make a square like a pair of goggles.
This
literally make it look like a pair of goggles. And then we'll show the picture.
Like that?
Yes. Now, give it about, well, it's going to be a little more even, but yes. And if you go about an inch on the inside of those goggles, that's your frame. That's what we're talking about, a rugged bone structure. No. Lair. To trace the goggles on the outside, on the inside, the bone, you have to draw the bone. So draw it like a mask, like a scuba mask. Vertically all the way around, 1 inch inside those lines that you just drew.
Okay, here.
No. Okay. Put a scuba mask on him. Just do it. It sounds stupid, but trust me. Okay, but you got to do the frame. You got to do the frame, buddy, not literally. Like I'm saying, the frame of the scuba mask. That's the bone structure around the eyes. Like, see, this is where we're getting into these weird genetics, and we're seeing this stuff on film.
Mm-hmm.
And people are even artists trying to draw. It's not a usual Sasquatch. These hominoids are not normal looking, man. So okay, so what we got there is give me 1 second, because I got to show you the bone structure somehow, man. I think if you look at the one on the top of Daniela, or whoever's at the top there, do you see the bone structure in that drawing you did?
Yes.
Do you see how it's almost square?
Yes.
Make it square. That's all I'm saying. The bone structure inside was so thick around that thing's eyes, it looked like a frame. But the frame was like this, and this is the key part there. Look at this. It was angled up a little bit, and then it went like this around, and then it was angled up. So it looked like almost like Spider-Man. Almost like Spider-Man, but with bone.
This deep?
Yes. Well, no, I won't say it was, it was comparable to the size of the head,
How's that looking? Something like that?
Well, from the point of reference of, you have no point of reference is what I'm going to say. And the description is obviously not working. So I think you need to see a shot of this thing. I really do. Because I don't think people have ever seen this bone structure, to tell you the truth.
Can we work from the head down with the brow ridge and add the eyes and go that way?
Yeah, it'll come together then.
That's normally Larry's way of doing it. Let him try this way.
Okay.
And he can measure it down with his pencil, and you can say stop when you want him to stop. And see.
Is this top of the head correct though, Mark?
The top of the head is correct. It's the problem is you're giving him a head. Yes, they have a head, but it's not a head on a neck. The neck is the head. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Like if you were to come down from the top of the head and do an exact 45-degree angle, you would have this dude's head perfect, because his head is a part of his neck and his back. Like, go like this, like there. You gotta get this like it's like way wider, man. Like this is like the angle. I'm telling you, these things attach. Like if you go right here, where the eye is, and you were to draw out like this, these are the lats, or the trapezius coming off the back of this thing's head, man. Like literally, they attach up here. So in drawing it, where you see these other ones, it's not like so drastic. In the one that I saw the other day, it came off this, like the top of his head, and you can see it in the footage. It's like a triangle. It comes down to the shoulders, and the face just happens to be a part of like the neck almost. It's like weird. I just can't. It's not like a head. It's like the head is built into the frame of the neck and the meat of that crown that's up there. It's strange to say it, but
let's start from up here down to where the brow ridge is. I'm gonna use my pencil real slow.
Right there, it splits.
Okay. And that the brow ridge connects with the structure around the eyes, the bones around the eyes, correct?
The brow ridge is above it.
Above it, okay. Was it wide?
What it is it's like the brow ridge is a part of. That's what I'm trying to say. The brow ridge, there's a bone structure at work here that looks like a pair of glasses when it's black. It's like, and it's about an inch around, like this thick, Lair.
Yeah.
It's like this thick, and it goes all the way around, and it's the cheekbones, and it's like angled on the top. So like the goggle shape is, you know, pretty close, but it's going to be a brow ridge, not goggles. Obviously, I'm just giving you a general shape, you know. But there's an arc on the top of them. It's got an arc, and it kind of goes up like this on an angle on both sides. So you have eyes that kind of go like this down a little bit. You know what I mean? My hands aren't even, so I'm not expressing it right.
But you say this is right? This is right here?
What I'm saying is the bone structure around the eyes is very thick and bony, more so than I think I've seen on pretty much any individuals. This is, yeah, it's like.
Like that?
Can you see that, Larry?
This is him.
Oh. Yeah, blow it up. Oh, hell.
That's the eye structure.
Let's see your picture again.
Put it up again, Mark.
That's what I thought.
He's a very scary individual, dude, even though he's not that big. And actually, Melanie was riding her bike. She likes to bike. And she was doing her mountain bike thing. And then I was standing there filming him and just was like in a state of shock that, like, you know, this is like what we've been waiting for, somebody to stand there, you know, like right there. And so I'm like filming, and here she comes. I'm like, Mel, come here. And I was like, look. And so we're standing there. We stood there for at least 2 or 3 minutes, man, just like watching this thing. You know what I mean? And it's like surreal, man, you know? And
how big were the eyes?
They were, it really is. This is really accurate, man.
Right. It's kind of defeat. We need to, like,
I know.
You
I
know,
know. I don't. That's why I say, like, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah. Have you not got another one we should draw? We should do.
I know.
And do it the way Larry does it, because that's the way, the style that he does it. He starts from the top and works down.
It works down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't show it to me anymore, and then I'll just.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I don't know.
Is that eye accurate?
Pardon me?
Is that eye accurate?
Yes.
Is that eye accurate?
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Okay. And the nose is that wide?
Yeah. Yeah, because it's got a real big ball on the front of it, man. Like it's upturned kind of, you know what I mean? But it's like I got a fat ball on the front of it, man.
Okay. So the nose, I'll stop my pencil where the nose ends.
Right there. Oh, no. A huge, fat ball.
Bigger than that.
Yeah, like a lot bigger than that. Enormous. Like, you know what I mean? Oh, no. Okay, so all right, so we're gonna erase that one and then go up between the eyes.
Okay.
Yeah, enormous.
We're
Just
right here.
Yeah, they had. Okay. Yeah, like
Top
from
of his nose is right here.
I would say the center of the nostrils is at the center of the retina. So the center of the nostril is on the center of the retina, on both sides. And they're very, very large nostrils. And they're higher than that. Yeah, you got to go up. You got to go up real high.
How high?
Right there. And they have to have in a huge arch. Like, yeah. Big, there you go. And then now, if you go up from right there in the corner of the nostril, right there, if you just draw a circle from that goes between those eyes up by that center of the nose, like a big circle, because he had an upturned nose. So the nose appears to be very high.
Right, like this high?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Bigger than that?
Yeah. Yeah, no, the ball is the entire nose, and then it has nostrils on the sides of it.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's like an enormous, like, swollen thing that looks ridiculous. It's twice the size of that. Twice the size. Twice the size. It's like it's literally pushing up to where when you're looking at the dude, parts of his nostrils, if he does this with his head, his nostrils are interfering with the eyes. They're so big. Like if all he's going to do is tilt his head back and his nose looks like, enormous nostrils, man,
Bigger than that?
No, I think that's probably pretty damn close, actually.
Okay.
Pretty close, yeah.
And the nostrils are in this vicinity?
Yeah, really big nostrils, man.
Bigger than that?
Nope, that's about right. Yeah.
What do you think?
Yep. Now we're cooking. Oh, yeah.
Without gas.
Oh, we are definitely cooking.
It's going to come together.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so now if you even out that right, well, gosh, I don't know what side the camera's got you on, but if you even out the bone structure on the eyes,
yeah,
and leave it the one on the right is perfect. If you can drop that left side bone structure and exaggerate it and make it look just like that, and then the entire line on the bottom, erase it, because we're about to. This is like, this thing is like got a really strange muzzle on it, like I think more like an orangutan. You know what I'm saying? Like it had this like real long,
This side needs to be like this side.
Yeah. Another thing is you see how you have the bone structure of, yes, exactly. Now just continue that all the way around the eyes, that whole thick part. Just continue it, the bone structure. No. Bring it down. Yeah. Yeah, man.
Below the nose?
Bring it down square and even with the bottom of the nostrils. Yeah. And square it off. The line was more straight there. Big time. Straight. Yeah, there you go. And then vertical. Yep.
Michael, I've never said Oakley Dokley. I never remember saying that. I don't think that's something I say. Is it?
All right. What do you think?
It's getting there, man. It's getting there. Now if you could, I don't I don't understand why you drew that line around the mask, the bottom there, like that underneath the nose.
There?
No, the line you just drew under the nose. I was just you can stop that line right there, right by the nose. You can stop that line and then erase it underneath the nose and do the same thing on the other side, and we're ready. Okay, perfect. And then yeah, that's it. Okay, so now where the outside of the eyes are, in the corners of the eyes, underneath the cheekbones is where the muzzle came straight down, and it was like it looked like this, Larry. It looked like this. Here's the bone structure of the eyes coming in, and then it went down like this into a little tiny chin. So the head is shaped like this, and it was very exaggerated, the outside. So
it's going to come right in now. It should be coming right in now to the chin. Get the lips in, maybe under the nose.
Like that? The bottom of the chin?
Oh, no. Okay. So if you go up to the bone structure on the right side of the face, underneath the bottom bone structure of the eye, and you come across that line, come down that line like you're going to draw on it, on the outside. Now just come down that line. There you go. Keep coming. Now turn the corner. No, follow the line. Follow the line that you drew. No.
This line?
Yes.
Oh.
And yeah, I'm having trouble communicating tonight for some reason. Yeah, right there. Now stop. Now go down. Yes. That's the outside of the left side of its face. Now go down. Start angling in. Little bit, not too much. Keep going down. Now round it off and do the same thing on the other side. And we're looking at the outline of the monkey, no doubt.
Yeah, this is crazy.
You see it now though, right? No. Nope.
A bit further in.
Too fat. You got to come in. It was a lot thinner, emaciated looking, very scary looking with this giant round nose and these huge nostrils. So yeah, you got to come in a little more on that one.
This right here.
Keep coming in right there. Now go down. There it is. Yep. Here we go. Oop, a little bit further down on the vertical.
How long did you see this one for, Mark?
We stood there for like 2 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
Got a good look then.
Now?
Yep. And then it just was round on the bottom, like a perfectly round chin is what it looked like. There you go. And so now, if you go up to, well, what's your process? Ask me what you need to know now.
Okay, what any more with the head we do from here?
Just the mouth.
Okay, just the mouth. All right, let's do the mouth.
Okay. The mouth was just like a crescent moon slit, just like this. Just one line. That was it. And it just seemed to have like an arc in the middle. It was like,
okay,
like the top of a sun or something like that.
Okay, I'm gonna go down from the nose.
The arc right there. That's the top of the arc. Down, right there. Yeah, it was more of an arc. Like a perfect, almost like a perfect arc. Like a circle, like the top of the sun when you're staring at it. It was like perfect like that. And what I was looking at, I thought was like a barrel-shaped muzzle is the way it looked. Like it made it look barrel-shaped when the way the mouth was.
Is that right?
That's about what it looks like, yeah.
Okay. Anything else in this area we need to be concerned with?
No, because that was all, real dark and in the shade. And the footage of the individual, That's the bone structure, and that's the basic structure of the nose. So yeah, I think it's
So this is correct here, right?
that's right.
And that's correct. All right. I mean, just so I don't get confused.
That's crazy looking, isn't it?
God.
It is. It is. Yeah.
Wonder why I couldn't get it.
I don't know. You know, I never saw. I don't see. You don't. You know, I mean, the only thing I've ever seen with bone structure like this is supposed to be extinct, according to archaeology. It looks like the Dmancy skull from Georgian Russia.
Oh yeah. What's what were the eyes like?
I didn't get a real good look at the eyes. They had whites in them. I saw whites. I don't.
In the corners.
Even in the footage, they were that shape. You actually hit the eyes pretty good, man. I was a little surprised when you like nailed the eyes like that, kind of, because they look like that.
And the whites were here.
Yeah, I mean, he had a retina and whites. He had eyeballs with whites in them, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that looks great.
Was the retina much darker than the rest of this part of the eye?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it was the way it appeared to be was either brown or dark or black, you know.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. And it was very big.
Very big.
Very big. Yes.
Bigger than that?
Yeah.
How many different looking ones have you seen
That's
in that
about
area?
right. Well, you know, I mean, I get to look at these things on footage, you know, so the groups that we've studied, I've been staring at footage of these things, and my goal being to get clearer footage all along, and we've been able to do that as we've gone along. You know, the data's gotten us better footage. So the ultimate goal being, you know, to be able to get one to come out and take a piece of fruit from me is what I'm trying to do, and then film the whole thing. But, you know, in looking at footage, all of the individuals that we capture on film, I get an intimate look at because I review frame by frame. So I can see these things, you know, sometimes pretty clear, man. And they're doing stuff. You can see them sometimes where they're jabbering on. They appear to be jabbering on to someone else and moving their mouth, and it's not chewing, you know. And you'll hear sometimes, you know, some kind of mumbling, very low. And I've been out there many times when it's been very loud. Obviously something going on, but yeah, I've gotten a really good look at a great many of these individuals. And, you know, I don't know, man, if you went on Crypto Reality and you tried to draw every individual that we have images of, I think you'd be busy for a while, you know?
How long before you do they come out when you throw the fruit? How long do they wait normally? Or do they just, you know, are they just there waiting?
Well, I think the key to having any kind of interaction has been finding these areas where, you know, they like to kind of lay around in, and there's a difference between the areas that they want to hunt in and the areas that they want to lay around in. And then there's areas that they lay around in so they can hunt. And so we've been able to figure out all that. And that's been the key to this whole thing. In getting all of this started, it really depends on how much effort you're willing to put into how many expeditions you're willing to go in, how much risk are you willing to accept, you know, where do we need to be to do this? There's a lot of questions that came into this, but the bottom line is we did the work. And in some cases it took several months of going in and just repeatedly doing it over and over and over again. We have it now where when we go into these 3 specific areas, we have the interaction with them where they associate now what's happening with us. And so in that, they've been getting closer all along to where this encounter was about 60 feet away. And I believe it was willful. The individual did not have to show himself. He was standing there plainly staring at me. And it was frightening. And, you know, at the end, it was like I was amazed, but there was also a surreal element of the whole thing. Like, you know, I just couldn't believe that he was like doing it. It's like, you know, and the other thing is my Canon that Carrie just gave me to use went dead. How about that one?
Right. Yeah.
A brand new charged battery in my Canon went dead. So I was like going to shoot this individual with 4K footage. And I went to get the camera out of the truck. And the battery, when I turned it on, had 178 minutes on it. And before I got to where I needed to shoot the individual, the camera shut off and the battery was completely drained and would not turn back on. So there's always that to deal with, you know. But I did manage to get the iPad stayed working, which was, this whole thing was odd to me, but I did manage to get the iPad footage. And so, you know, you can see what's going on. You see this thing in there chewing, man. And it looks, you can see that bone structure, you know, that like kind of,
yeah. You know. I'll definitely play that. I'll try and find it now, actually, while Larry draws this.
Yeah. Do you have the footage?
Yeah, I'm just going to find it now. It's that little clip that you sent me.
Yeah. Can we watch it or no?
Yeah, I'm just going to try and get it now.
Oh, okay, cool. I think it's really cool because it's been our goal for so long, and I've you know, done this for so long, to actually have an individual appear to, you know, at least respond to the degree where I saw him. You know, it really is a huge step for us, you know, and I hope it continues.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, this was, you know, it was 60 feet this time. Last time it was a little bit more than that. But I did manage to get him on film eating, you know. They're just so incredibly shy. They're so indifferent too, you know what I mean? And I know that it's shyness with some of these younger ones and all that, but it's absolutely indifference with the older ones. The big ones, they have these dirty looks on their faces, man. Like, you just know, you know, just stay out of the bushes over there. You know what I mean? Like, when I look at some of the stuff that we catch on film and the nasty looks that we get, in spite of the fact that we're bringing nutrients, and the whole group is obviously grateful because they continuously hang in that area on the days that they know we're coming, and they seem to know when we're coming. They seem to be there. You know what I mean? Strange, you know?
Yeah. Do you think there's like, I mean, do you think it's the younger ones? I know you're saying they're shy, but do you think it's the younger ones that kind of, you know, have got the kind of ones that come round and mess up around people's houses and property? Do you think it's more the younger ones than the older ones doing that?
I don't know necessarily. I think I've read a lot of that, and I've taken a lot of those over the years from people. And I think that there are a great many different situations that would contribute to, like, what people would call a nuisance Sasquatch or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think that it could be any age group. It could be maybe you know, a mother died in childbirth while the you know, the male was out hunting.
Yeah.
And who knows, you know what I mean? I mean, there could be any measure of natural occurrences that would contribute. Starvation, situational, I think is what that is. And so
definitely.
You know, yeah.
I know people you haven't got the answers. Nobody's got the answers. I mean, for all you know, this could be an older one. Maybe some don't grow that big and they're older ones. And it's so hard to know, isn't it?
Well, I mean, you know, this one, I think this time it was a little bit easier for me because I can see the pine tree, the diameter of the pine tree. He's 60 feet in front of me. I can see the size of his head. But when I run into the situations where I'm examining film, it's necessary for me to do a great many comparisons and analysis of the comparisons. you know, and looking at the trees, every time I have an opportunity to glean any kind of data off of a situation that will help me to corroborate, I'm doing that. You know what I mean? So, and looking at it, you know, I think the younger ones have a tendency to be a little more, even though they're shy, they seem to be more willing to interact with us.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, it'd be almost like going into a kindergarten and seeing a child peeking around the teacher's desk.
Okay.
That kind of a mentality is what seems to be going on, though they're wild in their, you know, what they are. It's interesting. Whereas with the adults, you'll get that behavior initially, but they seem to, you know, move off of that whole thing, you know, pretty quickly. If you're in their territory, they'll let you know you're not supposed to be there by, you know, any number of different ways. I know that that's been going on out there, where, as you know, having caught a juvenile on film, having my tea jug returned to me after 3 months. They stole it off the trail, and then we caught this thing on film within, you know, 15 feet of us on the side of the trail, right where the jug was returned. So I assume, based on the footage, since I caught a small one right there at the jug, and the jug was returned after 3 months, that, you know, it's a safer assumption for me to say that that's probably the individual that took the jug.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But I could be wrong. Sure. You know?
Yeah, well, I mean, you know yourself, don't you? You're in that area, you know better than anybody else. I'm just saying, you know, generally.
I mean, I look at the situation, and there is so much that I would love to be able to tell and explain, but I can only really give you the information that we have off of our research. That's where my reliability comes in, and it has a lot to do with why we're not seeing them as much. The optics of Sasquatch, you know, physical adaptation is what we're into. We're into understanding why they blend so well. We know they exist. We know what's going on. We have the hair. We've seen the dynamics and the physical properties of the hair. You can see the dynamics in the physical properties of the skin in action on some of our films, where it's, you know, taking the diffused light and retransmitting it in a million different ways in real time on real footage. And looking at it, those are the questions that we've spent time trying to explain, and we have a much broader data set, you know, of information to help explain it. I think we're moving in the right direction with diffusion theory, and not only that, but the achromatic stuff with their skin and the way the light plays on it is absolutely incredible to have discovered these things and how it applied to Sasquatch evolutionary adaptation.
I mean, how long have you been researching for? How many years have you been doing this?
Well, I mean, I took my first interview at 16 or 14.
Okay.
14. My friends, my best friend and his mom. So I've been around this my whole life down here since probably 1980 anyway.
Where do you think there was a moment where things changed, where you were suddenly, you know, when you put the time into things and suddenly it starts to pay off? When did you feel like you were getting at that point?
The data started to flow immediately, and it was overwhelming, and it was shocking, and it was hard to deal with, hard to accept, and extremely, in several instances, extremely traumatic for both Melanie and I. The way we received the information, that they were aware of where we thought, you know, something was going on, what they did to us, the initial objections, throwing things at us, knocking me down, growling at us, all the stuff that they did to basically claim their territory from these two interlopers that were coming in, examining their little huts and all this stuff that we were doing. We didn't stop, you know. That situation is when it started flowing, and we knew. I think we went home the first day when we knew we absolutely had a group in here. We went home that day and had a very long discussion about the value of what we found, and from a scientific perspective, the value and the information that if we worked, you know, for the most part, secretly in the areas, that we would be able to get information about what was going on. And I have techniques. And so we started to employ stuff from other things that I've hunted in my life. You know, I've been a fisherman and basically hunting and stuff my whole life down here. So once we started to apply some very simple ideas about existing in the wild to our theories and implementation in the field, the data began to flow incredibly. Images, we were having encounters, and we were putting ourselves in the right position more and more each time we went back in, because you learn where the activity is, and then you start wondering why. You start realizing temperature has a lot to do with what's going on. It's so hot out in direct sunlight. It's 7 degrees cooler in here under the canopy. There's some mud over there. You can see hog tracks, deer tracks. Well, 2 + 2 is 4. You know what I mean? So we focused our research in those areas and developed temperature variation theories and worked on all that for years. You know, so identifying the habitat was job one, and then learning now for the last 5 years, learning how to catch these guys on film, man, and get the DNA. We've got all that stuff, you know.
Yeah. Let me just grab this question for you, really, Larry. Can we have Mark on when Larry draws? He's a good sparring partner, as his son. Where's Mark at? He will be coming on, won't he, soon?
He's doing a play in New York City, so.
Oh man, is he a musician?
They know he's an actor.
Oh my goodness,
doing a play, yeah. So he's been rehearsing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
He rehearses on the night if we do drawing Bigfoot, but the play's on at the moment. So hopefully, when that's over, we'll be getting Mark back on, Larry's son, with Larry when we do these, because he is good. He is definitely good to have on.
Asking questions and stuff.
Well, he's kind of new to it, so he does have all those questions, and you know, the wonder like everyone else has of what is this thing is like the biggest mystery going, you know.
What do
Yeah,
you think so far, Mark?
I think it looks very good.
Getting there, good. These here are just a selection.
Wow, look at him.
Some of the ones that Larry's done.
Poor girl. Oh, man.
These are great images, you know, just the skill Larry's got.
These things look very similar to the ones in Florida. Oh,
Doesn't look like a friendly one at all, does it?
A white skin.
Mm.
Really nice, man. There you go.
Red head one, that one.
Ooh, there you go.
Yeah, don't want to bump into that one. Don't really want to bump into any of them. Just fascinating, isn't it? The differences in them.
That's Carrie's, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, man. Wow. People are seeing all kinds of stuff out there, man.
Oh yeah, definitely. Larry's links are in the description. If anyone wants any prints of these, get in touch with Larry. He's got lots more images that he's done. I shall get some more up shortly. This is the video you sent me. Now I know you said the quality's not great because it's off the phone, filming off the screen. The little clip you sent me, Mark.
Hands on your belly, you're supposed to stop. Oh, finally. Got that one on the cast. You ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, man.
That's chewing away at somewhere.
Now see, he's drawing the frames of the review.
Right.
Yeah, man. This is crazy, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll play that clip again, shall I?
I gotta get you the image that looks like this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, send me that.
Let me find it.
I'll send that. I'll play this little video again for people. So this is one that's eating. You've thrown some nectarines out, is it? And you get them to eat them, obviously.
Yeah.
To eat them. That sounds silly, doesn't it?
That thing is chomping away, man.
It is. I'll play it again.
Hands on your belly, you're supposed to stop. Oh, finally. Got that one on the cast. You ain't going anywhere.
That's having a good old chew.
He's having it. Yeah, man. Yeah.
I wonder if they just crunch through the pips.
I think they just eat the whole thing.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of my footage, man, where you see a big red ball and it disappears. There's no like a human and they're holding it and you see the white of the apple or something. There's none of that in any of my footage. And I think that's because the individuals have much larger mouths than they appear to have on the film. Though I will say this, the apples on several occasions in the footage looked to be like they were in smaller ones, hands. Like, you know what I mean? The apple was kind of large next to this thing's head. And I thought that's got to be a young one. You know what I mean? Yeah. But the other ones, they look like Tic Tacs disappearing.
Yeah. You think, yeah, with the huge mouth like that.
Yeah, there's like an apple. They're only like, what are they called? Oh, man, I can't remember the name of the apple. It's like they're kind of small. You know what I mean? Yeah, they're kind of small. I can't think of the kind though, but
crab apple.
No, they're actually pretty good apples. I always buy them good apples, man.
Macintosh.
Crab.
Yeah, they're like Macintosh, man. They're I always buy them good apples. I'm guilty of that, man. And nectarines too. Now the day I know this guy likes nectarines, that's gonna be his thing.
Yeah, they're going to be like grapes to them, aren't they? They're so small.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like watch the footage and I'm reviewing. I'm like, this guy, I can't use this footage to show anybody. But in the end, you can see this thing like put this apple in its mouth. I mean, look, what else is going in this giant thing with a row of teeth? You know what I mean? Mm. It's like it's a mouth, man.
Yeah. Mike has said, I wonder, based on the increased sightings, etc., is something about to happen? Is it that, or is it that there is becoming places where people can come and share? Is it getting easier for people to share their experiences, or is there an increase in sightings? It's a difficult one to answer, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's probably all of it. It's probably all of it, because if you look at the way things have been going in the last 21 years since Travel Channel started putting their documentaries out, increases in sightings, people are paying a little more attention to what's going on in their backyards when they know they have a national forest or a preserve or something set up. I think people are paying more attention. I really do. And I also think that they're paying more attention in these rural areas because they've been trying to explain what the hell's been going on. And so now they see this stuff on TV and you're like, oh man, do you think that's what the yells were coming off the mountain behind the house? You know what I mean? And there's millions of people that live in these rural areas, man, that are having experiences that they wonder about, like, what is there some dangerous animal going to get one of my children or my dogs, And in this situation, I think they're saying about it. They're telling people about it more now. It's more acceptable, So I think that's one reason for it, for sure. Hmm. But the important thing that, like, what we've learned is that close is what they're all about. They're all about close. They are going to be close, man. It's just what it is. We all plopped our cities down where they were living. And so if you really just, in some cases, inside the city, there are large enough wilderness areas that these things can still be. If it can hold game and it's got ample water and there's reasonable concealment and acreage, there's absolutely no reason these things can't be there. In the end, the way they live is so reclusive, so shy, and so off the public's radar that they don't even believe they exist. So I think they get away with a lot more than they should, and probably a lot more than they will in the near future, because I think with today's education now, we're not writing books about it anymore. We're showing you the thing chewing a nectarine on TV. You know what I'm saying? So in the end, people are going to start understanding these things exist. They're going to start looking more, really, it's more about paying attention is what I found. Because I hunted these areas and fished these areas for 35 years and never saw a single track. And I've only heard a few things that you could, but I had already had from the time I was young knowledge that at least police officers thought they were real because they were shooting at them. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So in the end, I always would be looking, but the amount of awareness, the type of awareness that you have to understand what's going on around you with these guys is at a different level. It's just a different, complete level of awareness and understanding, It really is, because they are embedded, and that's how they exist. They are embedded in these environments,
They have to be, don't they? I mean, it just it's such a mystery that they have to just be there. It's like in plain sight, isn't it? Kind of thing that
it is. That's a perfect description, man. And really, literally, I've had a sighting at the DNA trap of an individual that was in plain sight. And I was having trouble understanding what I was staring at because of the light playing on his skin in front of me from the canopy overhead. So in plain sight, for all I know, that thing stood there for 20 minutes and watched us before I recognized that something was going on over there. You know what I mean? It looked like a television was having trouble adjusting the color. Okay. But the rest of the bushes were all normal, and then all of a sudden there's this hole with cuttlefish color going through it, and I'm like, "What is going on over there?" And then all of a sudden the wind stopped blowing, and there was a Bigfoot standing there.
Wow.
Yeah. We got his DNA. DNA. He was at the DNA trap. Turns out.
Okay. So what is that? What is that, and how do you capture DNA, and how do you collect it?
Peanut butter jar.
Okay.
Unmolested, unopened, untouched, you know what I mean? And you just let them dig at it. And then eventually, apparently, you walk up on one that's eating at it and chase them off, and you get the DNA trap back because they took them all. They would just take them. We were literally doing this just so that we could get one that didn't get taken, that was half eaten. You know what I mean? So I was literally scheduling times to go in on them that were odd, so that we could disrupt them at the DNA trap and actually get one back with something in it, because they were taking the jars and I don't know where they were putting them.
Is there no way of putting a tracking device, a tiny thing in the lid or stuck to the bottom of the jar, just to see how far it goes or how quickly it goes or anything like that?
I would imagine
possible
that if crypto reality gains, any type of serious funding, that we will engage in those type of experiments. I'm personally aware of technology that can track, that is nano in nature. And so in the end, I would definitely be willing, once the technology is available to crypto reality, to take those types of experiments on, where we would get the data sets that would begin to answer the questions that you guys have. How far do they travel at night? Do they travel? Do they migrate? Do they do this? Well, if you got trackers in them, you can constantly see that,
It will be good, wouldn't it, to, like I say, just see the speed of them. If it could be tracked in any way.
Oh, man.
Shape or form or height or whatever these sensors can do.
I think that these things, I think it's possible that in the next few years, Carrie and I may be able to answer some of these questions, and not only that, but show you. We're working on it, and I really do see that there's going to be some very, very beneficial things to the research side of this as Carrie and I move forward. and we're going to try to get this done for you guys.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing, isn't it? I'm looking forward to the documentary. And you say a few years, but I just feel like there's a build up to something at the moment, and technology's out there. I don't think we're going to get any more technology than what we've got now, other than it being more advanced in a way. But I'm pretty sure we must have enough stuff out there now. It's funding, isn't it? I know funding is another
It is.
big issue, because
Well,
without
I mean, if you look at anything, any kind of a study, or really anything that you do, it always comes down to that. You gotta go places. That takes gas. You gotta go places. It takes setting up permits. There's all kinds of stuff that goes with this, and traveling, just the logistics of completing these expeditions and processing all of the data and doing all that stuff. It's extremely time consuming, man.
yeah.
And so yeah, I always like try to err on like we're working on it and give myself a reasonable amount of time, because man, when you get out there, the environment's always changing, the weather's constantly an issue, and then you're dealing with something that's self-aware. And so there's been, I would say, probably 93% of the time, that sounds ridiculous, but a lot of the time they don't cooperate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of days, Daniela, where we really get nothing.
Yeah.
We work our asses off to get what we do get. And what we can show you was hard won. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is not something that, it's some, it took a lot of work to get where we're at, is what I'll say. I
know it's easy. Oh, where have I gone? It's very easy for anyone, even including myself, to say, why can't you just go and, but it's everything you said. As with everything, you don't always get, even if you're a photographer going out just to take, like I like to take sunset, you can't guarantee what you're going to get when you get there. You can waste your time traveling to a beautiful place and it's dark clouds and it's no blue sky. I understand that. And I guess with this subject, there is no funding. No one's getting paid to go and look for these things, or maybe there is somewhere, I don't know, not that we know about, but everyone's got a job. Anyone who's kind of doing this Bigfoot thing, generally they've all got a job, proper job that has to pay the bills. And this is something that you need to put time aside to do, unless you're loaded and have got nothing else to do, and the day's your own. It's not like that for everybody.
Well, take crypto reality. I just sacrificed my entire life for 5 years. I did this full time to get the data, and my wife and I suffered immense consequences because of it. What we sacrificed for crypto reality to get you that shot that he's drawn, that you just watched, just that one blurry shot of something chewing an apple. Mm-hmm. People would think we're out of our minds, but we're going to do this.
What do you think, Mark?
I think that looks incredible.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
Now the hair, did it have hair on this part of his face?
It was difficult to tell. I saw some shine, so I assumed that it didn't.
Okay.
The
hair on top of his head, was it long?
No.
Short?
No, and it really was one of those things where the face was popping out of hair, like that triangle of hair. You know what I mean? It's like a triangle, and then there's this face coming out of it.
So it was short then.
The Sasquatch itself?
No, the hair. The hair.
It's like a mane.
Yes, it had short hair on. Yes, yeah. Yes.
Okay.
It's kind of like a mane. Do you think?
And you know what? Hey, how about this? Let's not do the hair. Let's do what I saw.
Well, yeah.
Can we do the leaves?
Oh, well, we could.
Because he didn't. The top of his head was underneath what appeared to be a homemade ghillie suit. like vines and all this stuff hanging off of them. But you could see the angle. I mean, even the green is angled, like it's on his head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's okay if you don't want to do that. But yeah, it was. I'm going to say that it is a 45-degree angle from the point of the crown of his head out on each side on a 45-degree angle, like a house almost, like a gable.
So lower than that, a bit lower than that, I guess, to get it.
Yeah, not as steep.
Not as steep as that.
Pretty close though, because he's running the hair on the side of the head kind of runs on that angle from the very top. It runs real close, like maybe a half inch from the bone structure of the eyes on that angle. So if you were to come down and just draw that line, like where it was like a half an inch from the eyes, that angle would be right coming down next to the eyes like that.
This angle.
Yep, that's it right there. That wide angle, man.
That's the one we want. Okay. So there's hair all through here.
Yeah, that was all hair up there. It was
Okay.
definitely hair up there, but it was underneath bushes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're going to use a little imagination here because
I'm sure he has that like little, wisping in the breeze. I've seen that.
There's a few questions here for you, Mark. What does the game warden say about Bigfoot in your research area? From Mark Ledford.
The game wardens that I've interviewed have all told me that they to have it in proper context. I asked the game warden if they took reports, Bigfoot sighting reports, hominoid sighting reports, and their response was, "We get that kind of thing all the time." Two different people have told me that. Two different officers have told me that. I've personally spoken to officers in the past via email that have retired, who have also told me that they're fully aware of the situation that's going on and that we're on the money in our research in the areas that we're at. I've actually literally held my cell phone out to an officer and had the officer identify an individual, a Sasquatch, from my footage.
Wow. And
literally say, I don't want to see that thing out here, man. I don't want to see that kind of thing out here, man. There's no way I want to see that thing out here. It's just like that. We had a game warden come up during 168 checking permits who got into quite a bit of stuff. All by himself. We didn't ask him anything, I don't think.
Kerry was
sharing all kinds of stuff, man.
Right.
I think people are opening up a little more now. I think what we're seeing is, like everything else in this country, there's a new generation of people assuming responsibility, and they want to be more accountable.
Yeah.
And I think that this works in our favor where this subject is concerned.
Yeah. So I think Kerry was on Hidden Existence doing the update when that game warden showed up.
That's right. He was. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys know it happened because it was happening live.
Yeah, it was.
It was happening live. Yeah. And that guy was like, yep, they're out here, So.
Michael says, Mark, how many do you think you've seen in Florida with or without your wife?
I'm just going to say several.
Yeah.
On film, that number is, and there's a lot of the same individuals. It's important for you to understand that a lot of the time, these are the same individuals because we're not traveling all over the place.
Yeah.
We found them. So we're going to the same places over and over and over again, capturing the same ones on film. And I have had 2 sightings of the same individual in one area. And he's approximately 8 feet tall, black hair, short hair and long hair. Long hair on the forearms, hangs down well past the hands, short hair on his head. He looks like a giant chimpanzee crossed with a man, but he has cold, light gray skin and a striking hairline where it goes all the way around the black hair.
Yeah.
And when you see him, there's a panic that comes over you that is like lightning. And he has a way of that individual I've seen on 2 different occasions, and both times it was startling and it was from a distance. It was a good 60, 70 yards on both occasions when I saw that individual. I hasten, or I'm hesitant. I'm hesitant to put a number on it because I couldn't give you an accurate number after this many years in the field. But I can tell you that I have seen one that looked like a giant man, even proportionally. He looked like a giant man.
Wow.
Except he was an albino, and he had a full head of rock star hair that was uncut. Went all the way around his whole, like Cousin It. But he didn't look like a Sasquatch, man. He was covered in hair, but it was long hair, and it was very thin. And he had tufts of thicker hair on his shoulders. He looked like a man, and completely a different kind of being than the giant chimpanzee one. These are the things that I think have a lot to do with why their scientific community is reticent to get really seriously involved in this.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that one of the things that we see in our footage is that somehow the Sasquatch and their species seem to overcome genetic barriers that other species are unable to do, especially mammals and especially Homo, right? Homininae I don't know, man. I'm seeing, what I'm saying is I'm seeing non-human primate and human primate characteristics mixed together.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not supposed to be possible genetically.
No.
I hope that.
Wow. We don't know. Well, there's so many weird stuff going on. A bit of an echo going on now. Can you hear that? So you're seeing different lengths of arms, legs, in that sense, that they're just not all the same.
No. And it's not what I expected them to look like either. Now, I'm sure there are regional adaptations, but I've been in a couple other places here in the United States, man, like 5 different states researching. And we've managed to capture bone structure in all 5 states that resemble Florida. I'm more likely now to think that this is the exact same species, and the variations that we see nationally are actually contained within each group nationally.
Okay. That's interesting, isn't it? I'm just trying to read through the chat as well and seeing if we've got any more. If you've got any more questions for Mark, put them up. What about poo? Do you collect that? What do you do with it?
Yeah, I mean, that's always a funny one, right? Like, I was just asking Kerry, you want all this feces I have? And he's like, what? Because he was down here for, we were working on film. And I'm like, yeah, I got all this, like, stuff. Like, we're going to test the DNA I was telling you about. That's going for 168 testing. You know what I mean? Because this is Florida DNA, right? We know we've got this. But we also have 5 or 6 bags, really nice, neatly packed. I would say probably quadruple, or even, I don't even know how to say 5. But in the end, there are several bags in there, and they're in there inside several bags. So yeah, we have samples of fecal matter in our freezer.
What will that tell you if you get it tested? What exactly will you get from that?
Actually, it was only after we went through the experience of collecting the samples that we realized that it's a very poor. They're very poor samples to test. You can test for certain bacterias and certain stuff like that to identify things, but in the end, the DNA thing, apparently it's not that it's not something to test for DNA.
No.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, well, let's just throw it out then. You know what I mean? I still have it.
Yeah, it's just interesting to see the different, like you say, they adapt to where they're living. If they're in the swamp all the time, they must be, I'm not saying must be, I don't know, but eating different stuff to those that are living just in forest with
Sure.
with only a lake, or something, say, for water. Um,
I think reptiles are on the menu. I think reptiles are a primary food source down here. I think frogs, lizards, and crocodilians are on the menu. And I think I think I'd be doing the same. I think we do the same thing. But I mean, I think if I was living in the wild, certainly I'd be doing that. And I think it's not difficult to tell that that's what's going on, since all of the dangerous snakes in their areas are gone. And when I say Florida, that's highly unusual for South Florida, that there are no water moccasins in these research areas.
right.
That there are no water snakes whatsoever. That there are the
Pythons.
alligators, the crocodilians have been displaced, all of it. What'd you say, Larry?
Pythons.
No, we don't see that, man. No, what you see is a vast desert that looks like a jungle with very little life in it, with the exception of, like, finding the giant tracks. The little lizards, they'll go through those little. I think these guys, the little ones, are eating snails. We literally were there one day, and Kerry will confirm this because he was there with us. We were there one day when we were leaving the research area, and there was an amateur snail breeder releasing 100,000 snails because somehow all the snails in that particular area, which happens to be where we research, were gone. They were gone, and the biologists couldn't explain it. I thought that was funny, man.
Yeah.
And I'm just pointing fingers at my drawing. That's who's eating all the snails, guys. Okay?
I mean, they must be tiny to them, though. Can you imagine a snail?
No.
Oh, you're talking big, like
Apple snails.
those big ones, right?
Some of them get to the size of a softball, man. Most of them are around the size of a little bit smaller than a baseball, or around the size of a baseball. But there's millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of them. And the snail kite, the endangered bird, that's numbers are so low in the state of Florida, they couldn't possibly decimate the snail population.
Okay.
They're the ones that the biologists are saying are eating all the snails. Yeah. Oh, it's great. It's great, man. It's great.
Yeah.
We're all that dumb.
Yeah. Flyby Stew H says, Mark, do you think the authorities are secretly studying them? Do you think someone else is in your area? Have you ever noticed?
Yeah. I've had plenty of evidence that there's something going on from several different angles, and it's disconcerting. It's concerning, and the technology that we're seeing out there, moving around under the radar of everyone, is scary, quite frankly. Someone's using drones in my research area that are really advanced, really advanced is the way I'll put it. So yeah, I think there is a management program. I think they are studying them, especially in this one area. Could be nationally, man. I mean, we broke a story a while back on some legislature that went through the Florida House and the Senate, and you can read all that stuff on Crypto Reality. But essentially, the gist of it is they were developing a way to deal with this hominoid issue in the Senate. The bill had been passed, and you can read it. It says that. The guy says, "Are we talking about the bill we already passed?" And the guy says, "Yes." They have amendments for it, and 8 different senators bring amendments for it. And they talk about renaming it, and they talk about opening hunting season on these damn things. And then at the very end, they talk about not voting publicly, but taking it into committee. And the guy says, "I want unanimous on this when we take it into committee." And it's all written right there in black and white. But many people talk themselves into thinking that it says something else. And for some reason, it just won't, it just hasn't gone anywhere. Like, we have legitimate proof. And it was actually literally sent to me from the Florida State Historical Archive in Tallahassee. I went there, and those people came to my wife's ceremony in a whole different part of the Capitol, and found me and told me that there was legislation on the books and they could prove it and sent me the documents.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me just grab this up. Todd, I think they're doing it. I think it's going to be Brad and Kerry doing it on a late show with the Miller Papers.
You're gonna do a late show on the Miller Papers?
Kerry and Brad are going to do, they're going to do a show about that.
I know a lot about that, man.
Okay, this area right in here, that was all hair, Mark.
Yep. Yeah. And then the other thing too is where you have the head coming down. If you just continue that into that slope like that, that's it. That was it. And he was just hair. I didn't get a look at anything else because there was bush in front of his chin, up to his chin, like here.
Okay.
And then it was all black underneath the leaves that he was sitting in. It was just a face sticking out of like what appeared to be him wrapped in a bunch of vines.
So I can go down straight like this with hair?
With what? With
hair like this?
No. He didn't have hair like that. Oh, I know what you're saying. Yeah, he didn't have long hair though.
Okay.
Yeah, no. It was just that neck sticks out on the sides of his head. You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you follow that line where you have those leaves at the top there.
Yeah.
That line of the head on both sides, if you just continue that line down instead of bringing it close and angling it in, where you go, where you're wrapping the hair of the head around the oculus, around the eye sockets, just keep it straight coming off the head instead of wrapping it around, and just do a perfect triangle straight down from the top of his head, and that's what I saw.
But in this area, just the same way. Hair here.
Yep, it was. I couldn't. It was dark, so I didn't know what it was, and the way it looked was, and what I saw was this triangle with a bunch of hair and a face sticking out of it.
I got you.
Yeah.
More like a mane. Like a mane.
It was like this, like, you know. Well, actually, I had that one, so.
Is it like a mane though, Mark?
Exactly the way his head looked.
Right, okay.
That triangle, man. And there was just this face in the middle of it, like, you know.
Okay.
But doesn't that look good? That looks like, you know, when I first looked at him, I saw the nostrils and the brow. And that was how I noticed it. This is what the initial thing that I saw was. And then during the filming of the couple of minutes there, a couple of times he like looked down his nose at me and he got the nostrils again. You know what I mean? But that's when he looked down the nose.
Hi, Ruger. There was a video. It says a video where a guy filmed one under a cedar tree covered in snow, and it looked like this one.
Okay.
Where was that from, Ruger? If you can remember.
Yeah, I wonder if that was.
Take a look at that.
Cedar tree. Could be the south.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Maybe Louisiana or something, huh?
Texas Jack. I don't know what you're talking about there. You're talking about poo. Sorry, I read too quick and I remove them far too quickly. I shouldn't do that. But yeah, good idea.
Yeah, man. I think when I was like maybe 12, I might have done that.
Yeah.
Somewhere in some neighborhood.
Oh
yeah. Halloween, right? That was the big deal.
Yeah, just for a laugh.
Oh yeah. Now I'm the old man and they're going to do it to me. That's how it works in life, right?
I've got Anthony Canatella. He says, "Hi, Mark. The one I've seen in Palm Beach County, Florida, by you look like a caveman."
Yeah, that was the first one that I saw in 2013. Actually, it was this week in 2013. So it's like the 2013 7th, 8th anniversary of my the sighting that changed my life, man.
Right.
This week, anyway. I don't remember exactly what day, but I know it was after my birthday in that first week. So.
Western Plains says, Mark, do you believe they will ever converse with you or remain stealthy?
Oh, I've had a few of them converse with me. I don't know what they're saying. It's not English. It doesn't sound like complete language to me. It's more like a a gesture while chattering while gesturing is going on, kind of thing. So we've had that. I mean, you know, I've had one where many people have witnessed this too. I've had one where I had a member. I think we did a video of it where one was making noise in the bushes, and I just made the same noise that he made, and he did it right back 1 second later.
Right.
Completely unnatural sound. And we're like, this is not like a creature. This is not an animal sound. This thing just made an unnatural sound to mimic me. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how you can trap it. Make an unnatural sound, if you know what I mean, that kind of thing. But I hope so, man. I don't know. You know, I think conversing with me entails throwing rocks at me. They've done that many times. Growling, that's conversing. But I get it. You think, you know, are they ever going to say something? I don't know. I don't know if I really want to have anything like that going on. I just really want to get it to where I can accomplish my goal so that I can show people that the world they live in is more valuable than they understand currently. And that the stuff that they're unaware of is life-changing, and it can help us all to understand ourselves better. And like, if I can accomplish this, just that, like, you know, help people to understand themselves better by understanding that we're not alone here, that these are possible descendants. They didn't go extinct. I think that's valuable scientifically. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really do.
Colette Millette, do snails have the same effects as oysters? Is this because there's an increase in sightings? We're seeing more because they're eating the snails and they're just like oysters. I mean,
Yeah.
it's possible.
I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say yes. They do have the same effect. And I'm hypothesizing here, but I'm gonna say I'm gonna go with that because there are a lot of little ones out there. So.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Well, could be right. Jackie Myers Lowman says, Mark, what is the tallest, the smallest you've seen?
I think that on film or in person?
In person.
Both. All right, both. Here you go.
Both. Whatever.
Both.
You know. Yeah.
Probably around 8 feet.
Okay.
But I think we have footage of something that's in excess of 10 feet. And I actually went and confirmed and stood where the creature was standing. And it was it was really close to twice my size in height and appearance by weight, 3 or 4 times my weight.
Wow.
Smallest one, there was an individual that wasn't doing so good, I think, in our research area. And I saw something that looked like it looked like a zombie. Its teeth were sticking out like it had a deformity. And it was really, really skinny. Right. And Melanie and I brought it food. Well, we didn't see it eat or anything, but you know, the area that I saw the individual, we actually literally brought food and left food there for like a couple weeks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I never saw the individual again. He appeared to be very human-like, and the group was in the area, but this individual didn't seem like he was doing so good. And I wondered if, you know, because we were catching all these primate-looking ones, that if they ostracized this individual because he was weaker, because he was more human, because the dude, it didn't look, it was a small one. It was probably 4 feet tall, but it just looked like it was going to die, you know?
Right.
And it moved off through the bushes. It was still fast. I can tell you that. It was fast. It was still fast. But to me, it looked like, man, somebody give this thing a sandwich. You know what I mean? It just didn't look good, man.
You hear a lot.
That's it, man. That's it. Yeah.
That's really good.
Yep. And then if you just, you see that nose line at the top around the ball?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
That's exactly what that dude, this thing looks just like him.
How'd that happen?
Excellent, man.
I knew you'd do
And
it.
you all want me to start over.
Hey?
You want me to start over.
Well, I was going to say pick another one, but no,
No.
I shouldn't have, yeah. I mean, I should have had faith in you. My bad.
The
We'll
nostril, the
Yeah.
nostril that's touching the eye,
Yeah.
that's exactly, man. I mean, it's like, that's what I saw, you know?
Well, let's tweak it.
There's the brow and everything, man. That thing is looking good, man.
Right.
Good.
Oh, good. Yeah. It's going to do a little tweak and then we'll get it. We'll have another look at it chewing
Hands
this.
on your belly, you're supposed to stop. Oh, finally. Got that one on the cast. You ain't going anywhere.
What were you watching in the background?
What's that?
What did you have on in the background?
Oh, I can't remember. What did you hear?
Well, thankfully it wasn't too, it wasn't any.
Hands on your belly, you're supposed to stop. Oh, finally. Got that one on the cast. You ain't going anywhere.
Is.
Hard to tell. Oh, better turn it off. It's hard to tell actually.
Yeah, I don't know what that was. It was. I'm sure it was PC, whatever it was.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man. This house has like jazz and shit playing all day long, man. You know what I mean? We're like,
Oh, swear jar.
Oh, swear jar. Mark.
Full
Sorry.
show.
that applies to the guest though.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
But that's like a
Only for the
reasonable
guests.
standard.
We only have it because of the guests,
You should have said no. It's just for you.
Of course.
No, I'm just kidding. That's funny, man.
Uh,
I love the drawing, man. Great job, Blair.
yeah,
Oh,
well, it's not
man.
finished yet.
Any more questions?
Well, I'm gonna have a look. Apparently, I've got into trouble for ignoring one, but I don't ignore questions. There's like 500 people, and I only get a kind of glimpse of the questions, and I'm trying to focus on the guest as well. So if I do miss something, it's not intentional. I'm just trying to do my best. At
She's doing her best, guys.
2:40 a.m. in the morning. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying I think I'm doing pretty well. But I'm going to try and find that question if I can. If I've missed one, just put it up again because I only get after 50 comments they go off StreamYard.
See, I never even knew the questions were here. They can kill dogs easily.
Can you see them now? The comments, Mark. It might be in private. You might see like private chat. If you go up, you get comments. You get all the comments.
What are your observations and thoughts on Dr. Johnson's observations in Washington and Oregon? I would have to go to that place myself before I would be willing to comment on anything like that.
Mhm.
What I can tell you is I don't see anything like what Dr. Johnson has described in my research areas. We have an electromagnetic issue, though, and I want to be clear about that. It isn't explained yet.
Okay. Just going back over these comments to see if I can find this question. Can't be any further than that. Just put your questions up again if I've missed anyone. Thank you, Greg. Appreciate that.
See, that's now here. Mark,
Here
do
we
you
go.
think Mark, you got zapped. Do you think the Bigfoot are being controlled by the same tech?
Oh,
Yes, that's what I think.
we'll go
I
back to
don't
that
think
one.
it's Bigfoot doing it. I think it's a management program. I have way too much footage of trees that are crystal clear and Sasquatch standing right behind them that you can't even tell what the hell it is. It
Right.
makes no sense that these creatures are being blurred in footage. I just looked at a piece of footage today where the trees are in 4K and the individual standing between them looks like somebody erased a drawing. there's no explanation for that other than electromagnetic interference, man. And it's real simple to set up a device. They got them. I can keep my dog in my yard. How about you? You know what I mean? So in the end,
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty simple explanation for some very complicated questions. I lean there, if anything.
David Hunt says, Mark, do you think Bigfoots are resistant to venomous snake bites, considering they walk in swamps?
I don't know, man. I think snakes hurt when they bite shit. And I think their venom is designed, some of it will eat your flesh. So I think they probably have to deal with the same thing, man. Maybe when I do know this, though. Now, I want to be real clear about this. They're fast. And when I was a kid, I could snatch a moccasin off of a log like it was nothing. And I used to I had many snake skins that I got myself down here, running in cow pastures that were flooded and, hunting around in canals and fishing everywhere. It's nothing for them. It's nothing for them. They're 5 times as adept as any modern human you've ever seen in the Olympics. They don't hold a candle. There ain't a human being on planet Earth that can hold a candle to what a 5-foot Sasquatch can do. Trust me.
Nope.
Wow. Nope.
And what I don't know, you guys were talking earlier, and I was busy drawing a nostril or something. But here's the thing about the Sasquatch: why there's a lack of really good photographs and evidence in this all that. They're unpredictable. That's the key. They're unpredictable. Deer hunter can put a deer stand on a deer trail. No problem. Bear hunter can let out bait and bears will come in. Neither one of those would work with a Sasquatch. It's just like when you get out of your truck, wherever you are, your car, they know you're walking in the forest and they know what you're up to.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That is definitely true, man.
Yeah.
Very smart, man. Very smart.
Oh, we have no comprehension of their intelligence.
Well, I mean, we're not taught.
Thank you, Matt.
We're not taught about this. We're not taught that there are creatures out there that literally run circles around you. Or you would be more aware that there are creatures running circles around you right now.
Yep, that's right.
Let me just get through. Mark Ledford asking again. Mark's asking, do you think Bigfoot knows what a weapon is? I think they must see people with guns, hunters with guns, knives, bows.
Sure, I think there's a pretty simple understanding about, I can remember even as a kid, understanding that, someone meant me harm. There was a weapon in this person's hand. You can tell demeanor, attitude, that kind of thing. I think that one of my cameras frightens them. For whatever reason, it does. It seems to. It's very difficult for me to catch them on film with this particular camera unless I'm well over 100 yards away. Anytime I have it in my hand and I'm carrying it, I catch nothing on film.
They smell it.
It's like nuts, man. That's possible too.
They do.
Yeah.
Did you know Bill Dranganis?
No.
From Virginia. He invented the I Gotcha trail cam. And I was going to put one out here at my house. But after he'd done some research with it, he says, they're no good for these things. Because they can spot them right away. They can smell them right away. They can tell you what factory it's built in. Making a joke, but
that's funny. No, I mean, I know they examine my cameras. I know they've examined my cameras and literally taken my camera down and put feces right where my camera was. I've had them do all kinds of stuff, like, you know what I mean? My thing is as smart as they are, in situations that we found, they appear to be pretty desperate. I think they're running out of habitat. I think the ones that are aging and the younger ones, and maybe some of the other ones that are infirmed in some way, injured, those are the ones I think that we're dealing with, the young, the infirmed, because there's a cycle going on now that I didn't notice before, where individuals are moving through our research area that I've seen them now one other time, But I think what's going on is there are hunting parties of these things, and they're traveling together through these areas. Maybe they're following the hogs. I'm not sure, but this is what I think. And then there are those that don't travel with them. And those are the ones that we've been throwing the apples to, because they seem to always be there, kind of thing. You know what I mean? And for me to have literally shot that footage, 3-4 days ago, and then I went back and he was there again. I'm reviewing the footage now. I haven't had a chance to look at it, but the same individuals. I may have another piece of film of the same one chewing. So in the end, we are finding situations where we can predict what's going on. And that's what makes it different. In these situations, we found individuals that seem to be responding. And I think that's why we're getting the footage we're getting. You know, it's taken 3 years to get here, but I'm 60 feet from handing one apple. You know what I mean? And like, I'm getting there. So
Thanks, John.
What's up, Carrie?
Thank you, John. How's my internet? Is it okay?
Yeah, you're all right.
Yeah.
So far,
I was laying here. This was before the show the other night, or the night before the show. And I got woke up. I was awakened by one of them little ants, some little wasp was stinging me on the face. Yeah, he got me good. So this is not this is not acne,
dude.
I got hammered. Yeah.
So while you were sleeping, you got stung by a wasp?
Well, they were all over the place in here when I first moved in here, and there's still one or two kind of. They're just tiny. They look like wasps, but they're tiny.
Black.
Huh?
Black.
Yeah, weird.
Hurt bad.
And trying to work on the film.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Karen.
I was just saying I was trying to work on the film.
All right.
And it's because I get to work on it an hour here and there. I got to try to watch it, and there's no continuity, you know. And to me, and I've said this so many times, as important as anything is the story, the narrative, you know, is as important as the evidence. And if you don't think that, I heard this was, I can't remember, a while back. There was a psychologist, a Harvard psychologist back in the 60s, had created this test. He went to this school in California and handed him this test. He said, this test will help you determine the exceptional kids from the regular, you know, just the normal everyday kids. So the school agreed. They give him the test. The guy comes back a year later, and the test is extremely successful. I mean, the exceptional kids just blew the regular, you know, normal IQ kids away. Well, the thing is, it was a made-up test. It was BS. But because he had come there with this narrative, with this story, the teachers spent more time with them. The teachers helped a little bit. They were more patient. So if you think a narrative doesn't matter when influencing something, it absolutely does. And that if we're going to do what we plan to do here, which is to make people aware, the narrative matters here. It really matters. So that's why I'm trying really hard to tell the story in a way that people are going to be able to look at it and say, okay, yeah, I really need to pay attention while I'm out there.
Of course. Of course.
Well, look, let me get this image up that Larry's done.
It's incredible, Carrie. Did you see it?
I haven't. I've been working on the film. Oh, wow. That kind of looks like what you drew. He's got some sticks and leaves in his hair. Yeah. Now, is this the DNA trap one?
No. This is Saturday morning.
Oh, that's right.
I'm the one that was chewing the apple or chewing the nectarine.
Yeah, I got that on video.
Yes. Yeah.
That's incredible.
I know, man. It looks just like him too, man.
It's you're talking about these things looking like bushes and being green and all. That's the idea. These things are trying to look like the bushes. You know?
Hey, if you back off of that thing, it looks like 4 eyeballs.
Yeah.
People try like, well, we would be seeing them. I'm like, you are seeing them. You don't know what you're seeing.
Yeah, people are
You know
looking
what
for
I'm saying?
They're looking for Jack Link's Bigfoot, man.
Yeah,
they're
man.
They're looking for Patty.
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
just not really what this is. Maybe this is pretty close right here. I don't know. But you know, when you showed me that chewing guy, you had to slow that down, right?
Oh, yeah. No, it's at 7 to 11% speed. I can't remember which one it was. But yeah, no, he's like, what it is he's like, I'm staring at him. So if my attention goes like this for 1 second, he goes real quick.
Right.
As soon as I look away.
Right.
They're not moving at all.
Right.
You're staring at this thing going, this ain't real. And then you get home and you go, oh my God, everything that happened makes sense now. I throw the thing. I hear the movement. I look back, he's gone. Now he's back chewing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and you see it and you're just, finally, it's like, okay, so I know when I'm staring at him, and I know I'm staring at him, and then I get in my truck and I'm driving home and I go, did I just see that?
Crazy.
Well, if it doesn't like yell at you or do something like it did with Carrie, it's you're questioning your sanity. And yet there it is on the film. Wham! Taking a, you know what I mean?
That's the thing, isn't it? It's like you say.
Greg.
Yeah, Greg.
I met Greg in Gatlinburg. One of the nicest guys you ever want to meet. I sent you a picture, Danielle, and we used to have this up there, and this is the one that Mark and I took together 5 years ago.
Looks like the one in the middle of your drawing right there, Carrie.
Well, the picture I just sent her, where you and I were sitting in my truck and you were flying.
No, it looks like that one on the Bigfoot Odyssey thing. Do you see the center picture of the Bigfoot Odyssey logo and Danielle is gone right now?
Yeah, except the face is not black like that.
Kind of to that, man.
Yeah, the lips, especially. But I sent this picture to Daniela, and this is where those nostrils come into play, because people will look at that, and to me, and you know, this is 4K. This is as clear as you're going to get. It's 20 feet away. This thing's 9 feet tall. Drone's 12 feet off the ground. You can see it's just looking at the drone.
I don't know how this is going to come across on here, whether it's going to be big enough.
When you first put that out, those two black dots in the middle at the end, you see that white palm frond coming down. There's two black dots. That's nostrils.
Yeah,
right below.
Those were eyes.
They thought those were eyes. And I heard Chad Datamus said it. He said, "Oh, it looks like a skull." I'm like, "No, you're not seeing it, dude. It's nothing but a face from the top to the bottom. You can see that eyeball. If you look at that palm frond coming down, that white one, go to the tip and go up about an inch just to the left, and there's that eyeball. It looks cat-like to me."
Yeah, I can see that.
Man, this Joker right here is what you don't have the original, huh?
Well, I lightened it up a little bit more. I have got the original. It's on the computer here somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let me find the original, and I'll send that. Give me uno momento, and I'll be back.
Okay.
No, I'm not going nowhere. I'm just.
Oh. I'm just going to see if I can crop into that one at all and still keep some.
It's on the desktop here. I know you gave it to me. Oh, you know what, Mark? It's in one of those series. Yeah, it's in one of those series.
In the film.
Yeah.
No, it just loses too much. I've tried to.
Let me see if I can revert this thing. Nope. That's it. Yeah, I lightened it up, but if people want to see it, you guys can message me. I'll send it to you. It's a lot clearer. It's more pixelated on here. It's perfect. Yeah. It's just perfectly clear. But that's what I mean. By the nostrils will fool you. They'll fool you. Think, look at those eyes. You're like, no, you can see the white in this guy's eyeball. The nostrils, you got the one peeking through the tree there. His nose is 5 inches wide. It's as wide as the tree right there. He walked right up behind you. Mm-hmm. Crazy. How big.
It's a big dude, man.
That's a big dude. That's one of those.
That's the guy that, remember I played that audio of that baseball bat crack?
Mm-hmm.
That was 5 minutes before he walked up behind me, and it came from right where he was. Yeah.
To me, it's perfectly clear. It's one of the greatest pictures you'll get. But that's the thing is, you're likely to not get much more than that because that's all they're going to give you. Poke their face through and look at you sideways. You know, look away, close their eyes. You remember the one that I got, the little black guy, black looking one? His eyes are closed. We were planning a shot because we had caught one the day before. We're walking down the levee, and I get there.
Say that. We predicted that shot.
We did. And when I got there, I stopped and I turned around real quick to shoot in that area because I figured, you know, that's where he was peeking out there before. And if I can get that clip, I have it actually, and I may put it in the film because you see this gray troll and he just slowly melts back into the forest. I'm gonna put that in the film. I'm gonna get a good breakdown of it. But the next day, the one we got the next day was in the corner of the frame.
He was laying on the bank looking out the side of that grass.
He had probably laid out there to watch us walk by. And when I stopped and turned around and he closed, you can tell that's what he did. He closed his eyes. You can see apex head. You see his nose, long upper lip. He's just a little monkey looking human.
He looked kind of like this dude. He looked kind of like this dude, but he had a different nose.
Yes.
He didn't have that ball nose. He had a straight nose like mine.
But he's in the grass. The grass is tall. He's in it. And you can see his right hand. You can see his body, his whole head, his face, and he's not looking. But when we turned around, you know he closed his eyes. His eyes, you can see his eyes are closed.
Yeah, dude.
So they're not going to move. They're just not going to move. And the one that did move, you know, I couldn't see him because that palm frond's hanging down. I got the camera down on my leg. I didn't even know I was filming. It was actually catching him. But
or the other one that moved, you looked away for a second, looked back, he's gone. That's how they do it, you know.
Oh, when we went over on the island. Yeah. We had smelled it, heard
but now,
something
during this whole
get in the water.
The interesting part about this is those things are happening. What he's telling you, this is the context, right? Carrie's talking about context. Those things were happening in the midst of 5 expeditions where in the exact same area, we're experiencing people running through the bushes, jumping into the canal, through the bushes, like whoosh, bloosh into the canal, like 300 pounds, man. Like, you know, Rodney Dangerfield, man. Triple Lindy kind of shit, you know? And they're 30 feet from us. This is what's going on. Wow. That's right. Sorry about that. While we're catching these guys on film, there's all this stuff going on all around us. Carrie and I heard conversation. And a dude answers. Some crazy stuff, man.
Yeah.
The woman. We heard a woman. This woman's out there like yelling all this stuff. And then all of a sudden I'm like, hey. And she's like, doesn't say nothing else ever.
Well, that's what I did when we walked up on the ones going, and you hear, and that's what I went. I went, hey, shut up.
Crazy, dude.
It was crazy. Didn't have a camera going, didn't have a recorder going, nothing. We were just walking in and heard this. And Mark and I looked at each other like, you hear this? It was right there across the canal. They know you're not going over there.
Nah, man. They're
a good place for them to get.
You know what he was saying. Here they come. They got that bag with them.
Probably.
Because they know the red bag with the apples.
Yeah. See those apples?
They're looking for that bag, you know.
I think I had a peanut butter sandwich. But that's what I just couldn't handle it. There's no way I could do that all the time. You know, once a year I'll go out and film you guys doing it, but I'm just not. My sensibilities will not allow me to do that way.
Well, thankfully, a lot of that's over with now. You know what I mean?
I hope so.
Yeah. Hey, man.
We're gonna see, aren't we?
Hey, listen, your camera went dead on me, man.
Oh, it did?
Oh, I got out of the bush to shoot the guy I saw yesterday. I went back to the truck, got the camera. Already shot the iPad, but I wanted the camera, man. So I went back, got it. In between the time I left the truck, 178 minutes, and the time I arrived to push record, the battery went dead completely. 178 minutes.
And you didn't bring another battery? It
was only 70 feet.
No, that's just 178 minutes is not really 178 minutes. When you're recording, that's over an hour.
That's over an hour, dude. So and I got individuals in the tree line that there's absolutely no reason should be disrupted visually. No reason whatsoever. So I don't know what's going on, but that's definitely happening, you know. And yeah, I'm having that conversation right here. You know what I mean? I was going to call you about it actually, but it appears that there's something going on because I'm shooting trees and the trees are clear, and then what's in between them is blurry. Like, come on, bro.
Do we need to tell people what we're doing? You want to tell them?
What?
You want me to tell them? I'll tell them.
Go ahead, tell them.
Well, once 168 hours comes out and is done, Mark and I are going to be going into the area, just us, to try to catch these guys and make films. Essentially, I'll be filming. Mark will be talking. He'll be filming too, but I'll be doing my thing. But I'm going to be out there with him, and we got several different places we're going to be going to investigate. Donnie Miller's, we're going there as soon as so many things are happening. Only got 25 irons in the fire. I am getting a new computer, but I can't get it, so I'll go home because I have to finance it. Linda and I are going to pick that up, but it's and we'll probably do a giveaway to give this computer away, because this computer was $4,500 right here.
Yeah, man.
The new one is $12,000. But that's what I got to have. I got to have a 10 core with 256 gig RAM just to make film. If we're going to make those kind of films, what I got to have. This won't cut it. This is a great computer for somebody. Excellent. But if you're going to use 2 terabytes worth of footage in 4K, some of it, you're not going to be able to make a film. If you had 1 camera or 2 cameras shooting, fine, but not 31 different devices.
Yeah, no, that's a lot for almost anything, man,
Yeah.
Dark Hour Paranormal on tomorrow night. Late show.
Wait, what now?
Is it tomorrow night?
No, he's on Wednesday, the 29th.
Oh, you're on Wednesday. Sorry.
Researcher report.
Maybe he's just going to be in the show tomorrow night.
Who?
It's
Paranormal.
Michael Roser.
Oh.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be. He's researcher report on the 29th. Yeah, no, Friday night is. Let me look. We're booked up all the way to the middle of October.
Who's Bigfoot Anon?
That's Connor.
He's coming down to your area.
Connor Flynn.
I think, yeah. So
Jack Schaefer.
What's going on, guys?
Jack Schaefer Friday night, most unnerving Bigfoot experience. And then Darren Franks will be on Sunday. Bankhead.
Okay.
Forest. He had a good look at it, and he said it was an old one because it had gray hair. It looked like, he said it looked like a coyote. It's colored like a coyote.
Oh
man!
And yeah, actually going away from him.
Did you say what color his skin was?
No, I don't know. I try not look. If I know they're coming on the show, I try not to get a ton of details from them because I want all the good stuff the first time.
Gotcha, man.
So I didn't.
This one looks amazing. I think Laurie's done an amazing
job. That does look a lot like
amazing.
It too.
It's exactly what I saw. Exactly what I saw, man.
It looks a lot like what's in that little video too.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I saw when I looked. I saw the ball of the nose gleaming in the sunlight. That's what caught my attention. The ball of the nose was real shiny. And then there were these 2 holes. As soon as I saw the 2 holes, I went, I'm staring at something here. What's going on?
Yeah.
And then I, like, slowly, the clouds were moving and stuff, and I got real good looks at him. And then, of course, I was when I was shooting. So
did you put that on Patreon? You did, didn't you?
Yeah, that's on Patreon. Yeah, the whole breakdown of that's on there actually, and I'm working on another one now too. There's some incredible stuff going on in my research area right now, and I would expect that in the next 30 days the footage is going to be incredible coming out of there. So I'm trying to go in as much as I can, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, take more than 1 battery.
Yeah, next time I will for sure, man. The funny thing is I don't do that. I've never had to do that. I've only ever taken 1 battery with me, and I've never had a problem with that. You know what I mean? I've never had anything like that happen, man, since we stopped using GoPros. And then what? A month ago, 2 months ago with Jimmy, 2 months ago when we went, that's the first time my Canon ever was drained completely like that. Jimmy's camera at the same time. There's something going on. We'll get to the bottom of it eventually.
Directed EMF. We'll do it. Take that millimeter out there with you.
This is what I'm saying. The keyword directed.
It'll also
right,
make you sick.
Are you
Sorry.
staying on, Kerry?
No, I'm gonna go.
All right. Well,
Back to
look.
work on-
All right. Larry.
Thank you so much, Larry. Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're welcome.
Mark, yeah, thank you for coming on and giving that description. I love the leaves and the little twigs in the hair there. That is a nice touch, Larry.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, they're so interesting seeing these different faces. Just another fascinating one. So we're on tomorrow night. Researchers report. Yeah.
Do you remember? Do you remember who will?
No, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. You know,
Oh, Mark Hackett.
Mark. Oh, Mark, he's been in tonight.
Several experiences he's had.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, he has quite a few questions tonight, so it'll be good to catch up with you tomorrow, Mark. So once again, Mark, thank you.
You're welcome. Anytime, you know.
Yeah,
Anytime
Larry.
I can, I will.
Yeah, amazing as usual. Thank you. Kerry, thanks. Everybody, thanks. Sorry for any questions that I missed. I did my best. But there is a lot going on tonight. And I think Linda's in the chat. Have I just seen Linda Arnold in the chat? Yes.
Linda Fish. Oh, she is.
No.
Yeah, she's moving furniture around. Our TV, the roof leaked and destroyed our television, so she moved everything. It's time for a new one. It's time for a new one anyway. So
Okay. Well, everyone, once again, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you all tomorrow night on Researchers Report. Until then, good night.